So this is questions and comments asexuals normally hear and my answers to them. This might seem a little biased or opinionated, but I have a little facts in here, so hopefully it's not too biased. But like I said, these are my answers to them. And it might be a little sarcastic, might have some foul language and all like that, just to let you know. And trigger warnings ahead. So, also, if I keep looking down, it is because I have written out a script for myself, because there's no way I can remember everything I need to say in all the questions or comments. So, with all that said, let's get started. Question number 1 is, what is asexuality? Well, if you want the easy definition, Wikipedia sums it up pretty decently. It says, asexuality is the lack of sexual or attraction to anyone, or low or absent interest in sexual activity. It may be considered the lack of sexual orientation, or one of the 4 variations thereof, alongside heterosexuality, homosexuality, and bisexuality. A study in 2004 placed the prevalence of asexuality at 1% in the British population, which basically is what I tell people, but there's no way I can remember all those facts that, like, how it took place, the study took place in 2004 in the British population. So what I normally just tell people is that asexuality is the lack of or low interest in sexuality, sexual attraction, not sexuality, and sexual attraction. And then I usually talk about something else because I get so tired of hearing this question, because that's all I ever hear when people find out I'm asexual is asexual. They're just like, what is asexuality? Do your research. That's what I did. Next, question number 2. Asexuality? Oh, I heard of that in biology class. That's what plants do, right? Oh, you are so close. So close. But no, what you learned in biology was sexual reproduction, not asexuality. But if you learned about asexuality in biology, good job. Give yourself a pat on the back. Question number 3. So, you're a plant? Why, yes, I am obviously a plant. I mean, how many human-looking plants do you know of that not only can speak, but also know how to use a computer? I mean, come on. What planet are you from? Anyway, question number 4. So, are you a virgin? What the hell does me being a virgin have to do with my sexual orientation? I mean, did you have to fuck a chick to know that you were straight? I'm sorry. Just, my being a virgin has nothing whatsoever of my sexual orientation. Question number 5. Oh, it's just a phase. You'll grow out of it once you reach puberty. Okay, so that one. Let's see. I'm pretty sure I reached puberty years ago. In fact, I came out as asexual after I reached puberty. So, no. I'm pretty sure I won't grow out of it. That it's not just a phase. Question number 6 is, did something happen to you when you were younger to make you not like sex? Or, also known as the point where ace-phobic asshats try to say that rape turns people asexual without actually saying it. Where to begin? One, that question is highly triggering. Why would you ask someone that? I mean, hopefully you at least know the person before you go and ask a question like that. I mean, who knows what it could trigger? But also, just don't ask that question. Like, ever. So, question number 7. You just haven't met the right person yet. I feel like I've touched on this one before when I said, oh yeah, did you have to fuck a girl to know you were straight? I mean, the same applies for this question. Did you have to meet the right girl, boy, whatever gender they identify as, or whatever they identify as? Doesn't even have to be a gender, just whatever they identify as. To know that you knew your orientation? I mean, please. Just. Anyway, question number 8 is. Actually, this one is 2 questions rolled into one because I didn't feel like doing them both separately. Because the answer applies to both of them. So, the question or comment, depending on how they say it, is you need to see a therapist or a doctor. Or they could say, do you need to see a therapist or a doctor? And my answer to that is, why, yes. Actually, I do need to see both a doctor and a therapist. Probably multiple ones. But it has nothing. The reasons I need to see them have nothing to do with my sexual orientation. Which brings us to question number 9, which I found really funny. I laughed when I found out this question. I've never actually, or it's a comment, I've never actually been told this, but when I read it on a list of questions or comments asexuals normally hear, I just found it funny, so I had to put it in this video. And it is, you're asexual, so you must be a serial killer or psychopath. Yes, because, as we've seen in media, all asexuals are either serial killers or psychopaths. So, I must be one. But, my comment to this was, oh, so you're straight? You must be a phobic asshat who has shitty taste in music and a giant ego who is obviously or is in a fraternity or sorority. Next question. Which brings us to question number 10. And this one's not a question either. It's a comment again. It is, you just use that as an excuse for being alone. No, I don't, actually. Hate to burst your bubble, but since coming out as asexual, which I came out back in 2011, so it's been 4 years I've been out as asexual, and I've been in a few relationships since then. So, no, I don't use it as an excuse for being alone. When I was in a relationship, I let them know I was asexual, so no, it's not. Question number 11. I've run out of fingers to hold up, so I'm just going to put these up to indicate question number 11, which is, you are just trying to get attention. Yes, I am. I mean, obviously, you don't know me at all, because I can get enough attention to satisfy my attention whore needs, which I really am. I'm a big attention whore. But I get enough attention to satisfy my needs for attention just being me. I don't need to bring my sexual orientation up. Question number 12, and this one actually is a question. Yay, I got it right this time. Is, so you're gay then? I'm not even going to. I'm not going to at all. No way. Question number 13. But you can't be asexual. I have seen the fanfics you read. Yes, I do admit, I read smut. I've watched sex on TV. I've watched porn before. Hell, I've even roleplayed smut. But just because I roleplay it, watch it, or read it, doesn't mean I actually want to do any of it. It's fiction. So yeah, no, that just because I read or watch or roleplay that stuff doesn't mean I can't be asexual. Comment 14. But you're the most perverted person I know. While I highly doubt I'm the most perverted person you know, I will admit I am pretty damn perverted. Okay? I'll admit it. Flat out. I'm perverted. Who isn't these days? But just because I don't mind making dirty jokes or I don't mind laughing at them doesn't mean I can't be asexual. Again, same as the whole reading smut stuff. Just because you laugh, just because you do one thing doesn't mean you actually have the physical need or want to do it. You just find it funny. That's my humor. I like sex jokes. I like perverted jokes. I like stuff like that. I find it funny. Which brings us to question 15, which is actually a question and a comment that you hear a lot when you're asexual. So the question is, so you don't masturbate? And the comment to that you might hear instead of the question is, you can't be asexual, you masturbate. So through extensive research, because I had this problem, I didn't know where I fit in before. I did a lot of research and I found out that some asexuals will masturbate or even have sex, but they're still asexual because they don't have as high of a sex drive or the need for it as non-asexual people do. They might do it once, never do it again. They might have never done it in their life and still never do it. So just because you masturbate doesn't mean you're not asexual. I mean, we still have the same abilities as non-asexual people. So we can masturbate. It's just whether we do or not. And in my opinion, asexuality is like a sliding scale. It's not just black and white, and it's not even just black, white, and gray. You have your shades in between. Which brings us to question 16. Which is asexuality a real thing? No, we're just unicorns in disguise. Didn't you know? So yeah. Those were all the questions and comments I found online. For this next part, I had asked my friends on Facebook if they had any questions for me that they would like to know about asexuality. And I got a few in. So, I'm going to read them to you in my answers to them. Question number 1 is, so how does asexuality really work? Well, it works just like any other sexual orientation, really. I don't know what you want me to say here. Question number 2 is, what kind of people do asexuals find attractive, if you do? Well, I guess that all depends on your personal preference. If me, personally, I'm a biromantic So I like both males and females. And then I also have personal traits that I find, I don't know, adorable or something that draws me to a person. Which, for when I look in a guy, I look for blonde hair and blue eyes, or at least light hair and light eyes. That's what I like when it comes to guys. And for chicks, I like dark haired, dark eyed chicks. Actually, eye color doesn't matter when it comes to chicks. I just like dark haired chicks. So, yeah, it just all depends. You can be bi romantic, what is it? I guess gay romantic, you would say, or homo romantic. Um, you can be straight and asexual. You can be any of those sexual orientations, really, but it's not a sexual orientation when you're asexual, because asexual is your sexual orientation. It is your romantic orientation, which, yes, romantic orientation and sexual orientation are two very different things. Question number 4. We're on question number 4 of this questions my friend sent in. Do you associate yourself with a gender? Me personally, yes, I do associate myself with a gender. Most people do. And if you were asking what my gender that I identify as, it is transgender male. So, but if you're talking about asexuals as a whole, we can associate ourselves with many different genders. We can be trans female, trans male, cis female, agender, gender queer, whatever. It has nothing to do with being asexual. I had a question on here. It would be question number 5. Do most asexuals tend to fall in the X category? I wasn't quite sure what you meant, so I didn't answer that one. I'm sorry. Maybe if you watch this video, if you want to comment and be more specific what you meant, I'll message you back my answer. So that brings us to technically question number 5 that I've answered, but we'll just go with question number 6. Which is, do you have sex? Do you hate sex? I mean, it varies depending on the person. Some asexuals can have sex, some can hate it. Take demisexual, for example. I want to say they fall under the asexual category. From my research, from what I can see, they fall under asexuality, or maybe right below the asexuality. I'm not sure. Sorry. I should have done more research before I did this. Question number 7. So question number 7 is, can you define some slang terms for us? I had fun looking all this stuff up because I didn't know many asexual terms, and I'm glad someone asked because I learned from this as well. So the asexual terms or slang terms for the ace community are, number 1, ace, which is short for asexual. That's kind of self-explanatory. Slang number 2 is gray A, which is you can either say gray A or gray ace, but it's just asexual orientation in which the person does not normally experience sexual attraction, but may experience it sometimes during rare or specific circumstances. The person may also feel sexual attraction, but have no desire to act on it, which, for me personally, I identify as gray ace. But yeah. So, that brings us to slang term number 3, which is demi, or demisexual. well, the slang is demi, which is short for demisexual. And demisexual is a person who does not form sexual attraction until they form a strong emotional attachment to someone. So yeah. If anyone was wondering what I meant by demi earlier, there you go. Should have just looked down here and read it. But I didn't. Okay, so number 4 is one of my favorite terms. I haven't personally got to use it yet, but I just love the word to death. And it is asexy. And this is a term asexuals use to describe someone they are attracted to. Sorry. Term number 5, which I didn't know about this one until I did my research on slang terms. So look, I'm also learning. And this one is, and I hope I pronounce this right, I can't pronounce stuff to save my life most of the time. And it's amoeba. I feel like I should know how to pronounce this because I'm pretty sure I learned about this back in high school. Because this is a term, a biology term, but we asexuals took it and used it in our slang because we're ironic like that. We tell people not to call us plants, yet we use plant terms. So amoeba this was a term in the early years of asexual community as a term used to refer to an asexual person. I'm not sure if this term is still used today. I think we just go by ace now. So I know that's what I use, is ace. I don't use amoeba. But yeah, that's a little history on asexual, on what asexuals call themselves. So, number 6 is, and I hope I pronounced this right again, allosexual. Allosexual is a sexual or non-asexual person. So yeah, that's what we call you people. Just to let you know. In case you hear us saying the term, you know we're talking about you now. And number 7, I like this one. This one is squishes. A desire for a strong platonic relationship with someone. Squishes are also known as aromantic crushes. So, from what I could find, asexuals also use this term, but I'm not sure if it's, because I know many asexuals who use this term, not just arrows. So, yeah. And number 8 is zucchini. I think I pronounced that right. So, zucchini, slang for queer platonic partner. The use started as an internet meme, of course, in the asexual community after discussion about the lack of words available for talking about relationships that are not quite romantic, but not quite platonic either. And for the last 4 terms, they're kind of grouped together because they're also card terms. Well, not card terms, but they're cards. And they are, 1 is Ace of Hearts, which is a romantic asexual. 2 is Ace of Spades, which is aromantic asexuals. 3, Ace of Diamonds, which is demisexuals and demiromantic asexuals. 4 is Ace of Clubs, which is gray asexual or gray romantic asexual. And the one I use for myself is Ace of Clubs. So I hope you had fun watching this video. I hope you might have learned something, even if it's all you learned was that I'm an idiot and I can't talk at all. That's fine with me. But yeah, so bye.